The profitability of your business comes down to demand and supply tension. So even if the whole world was catastrophically in the worst recession ever, if you had the ability to look after 50 clients and 500 people wanted to be your client, you wouldn't be experiencing a recession. You'd have high prices, you'd be picking and choosing your clients, you'd be totally fine. And the flip side is true. If the economy was flying and you were on fire and everyone's making money and everything's going superbly, but you've got the ability to look after 100 clients and only 10 people want to do business with you, you're experiencing recession. You're experiencing negative times, bad times. So purely and simply, your business is not big enough for it to have any impact on the economy, for it to be impacted by the economy. The economy and your business is like a mosquito and an elephant, right? It's not relevant to each other. These things don't need to worry about each other. All your business needs to worry about is demand and supply tension. You need to have an imbalance where there is more demand than supply, right? So this is economics 101. Now, think about it like this. Rule number one, only oversubscribed businesses make a profit. And we know that there are weird things that happen in the economy, such as airlines lose money all the time, even though they're a really expensive and difficult business to set up and they have to innovate and do customer service and all of that. And all the time they're losing money. And then we know that there are weird things like Rolex watches where those guys have 18-month waiting lists and they make a ton of money. They sell something that you can copy for $200 and they sell it for like $12,000, right? So they make a ton of money. All of this can be easily explained. It's just demand and supply. So when demand is high and supply is low, you've got profit. When supply is high and demand is low, you've got losses. So your business is a balance, right, of demand and supply. If you're oversubscribed, profit is tolerated in the marketplace. Tolerated, right? Your customers will tolerate you being profitable. However, if you've got lots of capacity and not many buyers, you're going to tolerate losses. You're going to basically lose money. And if everything is even, which I reckon is about 90% of businesses, if everything's even, then wages are tolerated. So your customers will tolerate you earning a wage. What does that mean? Well, let's say you own a coffee shop and you're the manager of the coffee shop, even though you own it. If it's a normal coffee shop where it's got 100 seats and 100 people come by, then it's going to tolerate whatever a coffee shop manager makes. Let's say a coffee shop manager makes $40,000, right? $50,000, whatever the number is, $100,000. I don't know what a coffee shop manager makes, but whatever that number is, the market just magically allows you to make that much money and not much more, right? So if everything's balanced, then you end up with the market rate. So your goal is to get yourself oversubscribed. How do we start this process? The first thing you must do is set capacity. So setting capacity means that you come up with an official capacity. You actually figure out what is the capacity of my business. And your capacity is just another word for how many customers can you leave delighted? How many customers can you delight? Right? So how many people can you make feel amazing? So think about it like this. If you're a business coach, and in order to make a customer feel delighted, you've got to have 15, 20 minutes before the meeting to just get your head in the game, not be rushed, feel good. You feel like you're centered. You've got time to review your notes from the last meeting. You've got time after the call to make some new notes and put those into the filing cabinet. You've got time to reflect, go for a walk, get your head in the right space each day, right? So all of those things go into leaving people delighted. Now, if you don't do that, let's say you just cram your diary with back-to-back coaching calls, and rather than having 4 coaching calls a day max, you have 6, 7, 8 coaching calls a day. Well, now you're not going to leave people delighted. They're going to go, this person's just like, their head's not in the game, they're rushed, they're distracted, they don't remember what we talked about last time, right? So nobody feels delighted when you overstretch yourself. If you go into a restaurant and it's so crammed that you can't sit down properly and it's loud and it's noisy and everyone's bashing around, right? You're not going to feel like you want to go back to that restaurant. So the first thing about capacity is not the number of clients you theoretically could cram in. The capacity is the number of clients you can really look after, the ones who can feel delighted. So you have to figure out what goes in, what is the ingredients for making someone feel delighted, and how do we reverse engineer that? How do we make sure that you are picking a number that is the real number for the next month, 2 months, 3 months, 12 months, where you figure out this is the number of clients, real deal, this is all I can delight, I can't go more than that. So that is called setting capacity. It's where you zoom out from your business, You stop being reactive and you actually just set the capacity and say, between now and Christmas, realistically, I can take on 12 clients, or between now and Christmas, I can go ahead and onboard 300 people on our system, right? You got to have a pick a number. You got to pick a number that makes sense for you and for your business. So that is the ability to leave people delighted. So the question I want you to start pondering is, how many people can you leave feeling delighted? So think about like an official capacity of a restaurant. 50 tables, 5 settings a day, 250 bookings per day seems like a sensible capacity. Official capacity of a consulting firm. We can take on 8 mid-sized clients and 12 small businesses per year. So we've got capacity for 20 when it's 8 mid-size and 12 small, right? That might be your consulting business. So I want you to think about this sentence. The quality of what we do is limited by a few bottlenecks like blank. And for this reason, our capacity is set at N number of clients per year, or per what, right? So you might finish it like this. The quality of what we do is limited by a few bottlenecks like onboarding and client success meetings. For this reason, our onboarding capacity is set at 300 new clients per month. So even if you're a tech company with technology, which scales, you might say, yeah, the tech scales, but the onboarding doesn't scale. The client success meetings doesn't scale. Right? So we can realistically only look after 300 new clients per month because there are plenty of parts of the business that just don't scale, even though the technology scales. So I want you to have a think about this question, and I want you to write down your answer to this. The quality of what you do is limited by bottlenecks such as, right? So write down at least 2 or 3 bottlenecks. And then for that reason, your capacity is set at N clients. Now, obviously, don't have to like write this in stone. Just have a first go at it. Have a first pass at what you would consider to be the right number.